What is up YouTube? My name's Dean Britta and you are watching Bright Tech Lifestyle. Stay tuned for my review of the 2020 iPad Pro. In 2010, Apple took the mobile world by storm when they introduced the first mainstream tablet. This device was an absolute game changer and shook up the way many of us worked, studied and kept ourselves entertained. Since then, over the years, many other players have come into the game, most notably Samsung and Huawei. Could be argued that none of these have really had the kind of groundbreaking impact that Apple's iPad have kind of had. But fast forward 10 years, in various iterations of the iPad, Apple has released the second generation of their iPad Pro level tablet. The most noticeable differences between the iPad Pro and the standard iPads would be the processor and the graphics capabilities. Now these are all thanks to Apple's new A12Z chip. Other differences though, we've got the liquid retina display with ProMotion technology, and that allows a refresh rate of up to 120 Hz. Now Apple has also added a thing called a LiDAR scanner. Now this allows new experiences with augmented reality. In addition to this, the iPad Pros, they have USB-C instead of the regular Lightning port that the standard iPads have. In addition to the tech specs, the iPad Pro has a more streamlined design. It shares more in common with the iPhone 11 in terms of its design, and this design is essentially unchanged from last year's iPad Pro. The most noticeable difference being the camera array on the rear of the device, and that's thanks to the addition of that LiDAR scanner. As mentioned, that allows new opportunities and experiences with augmented reality. Now, I've purchased the 11-inch version of this device, but the 12.9-inch version is exactly the same other than the bigger screen. You do of course have the option to choose the amount of storage space on the device, and that ranges from 128 gigabytes up to a terabyte. As well as this, you can also choose between silver and space grey colour options. I went for the 11-inch 120 gigabytes space grey version of the device. Now upon switching this device on, the first thing I notice is this gorgeous screen. It is an absolute delight to look at. Swiping around the screen, you really do feel the luxury of that ProMotion screen technology. It is buttery smooth. On a side note, if you are going to be doing a lot of note taking or graphic design work, I'd highly recommend getting hold of the Paperlike screen protector. It's an amazing product, and it gives you the feeling that you're writing or drawing on real paper, particularly when used with a stylus such as the Apple Pencil. I hasten to add, I'm not sponsored by Paperlike in any way. I just genuinely think it's a great product. Now, going back to the iPad, compared to my 2018 standard iPad, the difference between that and the iPad Pro is night and day. I mean, navigating around the screen, opening apps, performing day-to-day tasks is an absolute joy. There is no lag whatsoever on this device. Editing photos in Affinity Photo and sketching in Procreate is also joy. I honestly forgot I was drawing on a screen at times. It is that good. The refresh rate on this screen is insane. I actually wrote up my script for this video using GoodNotes 5 and Apple Pencil The whole experience felt so natural, and in my mind it made me a lot more productive. I found it so much easier than typing it out. In actual fact, I produced and edited this whole video on the iPad Pro using LumaFusion. I can honestly say it was one of the most enjoyable productivity workstream experiences I've ever had. It was a lot of fun to do, and rendering 4K video in LumaFusion, editing clips, pulling in other sources of video was ridiculously fast. I mean, this little device outperformed my MacBook Pro, which was running Final Cut Pro. Although my MacBook Pro is a few years old now, this thing, it just left it for dust. I would happily use this device as a laptop replacement. I've yet to find a productivity task that it can't do as well, if not better, than my laptop, albeit some adjustments will be needed due to the differences between operating systems, i.e. the iPad Pro is running iPad OS and your laptop is either going to be Mac OS or Windows. So there's obviously going to be some teething issues there, getting used to transitioning from one operating system to the new iPad. Now with this iPad, as I mentioned, Apple introduced a camera sensor on the back called a LiDAR scanner. Now this measures how long it takes light to reach an object and reflect back. Now it uses this data along with the data obtained from the device's other sensors to get a greater understanding of your surroundings and allow for more accurate placement of objects in an augmented reality scenario. So say for instance with IKEA's app, for example, they've really taken advantage of this, and they've kind of really upped their game in how well and how accurately you can place their products in augmented reality. So yeah, it's good. You should certainly check that one out. Obviously this device is aimed at professionals, but we all need a little downtime, don't we? And the App Store has certainly got you covered there. There's a lot of great games optimised for the iPad Pro, and I'm not ashamed to say I've recently started playing Call of Duty Mobile on this thing. I've got to say I'm getting pretty damn good as well. Certainly check out my other video of the Call of Duty gameplay, see what you reckon. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. Now going back to the game, on the iPad you can actually change the settings within the game, up the graphic capabilities to make the most of this powerhouse processor. Now I'm no professional gamer, but I've got to say the graphics quality this device can handle, I don't think it's too far off a current gen console. I mean, that's in my opinion. A lot of you might disagree, but there you go. I've tried really hard to find fault with this device, but there really is nothing I can criticise about it. If I had to find one gripe, the only thing I would say is this device is not cheap. I mean, at £769 for the entry level, 120GB 11-inch version, it's certainly going to sting your wallet. Now, in addition to this device, you'll likely find yourself spending a small fortune on accessories such as the Apple Pencil and the Magic Keyboard. Now, in my opinion, these are well worth getting, and they will add to the enhancement of your experience with this device. To sum up, I can honestly say that this is the best Apple product I've owned. This thing is an absolute beast, and I would highly recommend it to anyone looking for a high-end tablet to meet all your needs. Now, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and hit the bell to keep up to date with future videos.